Hi, welcome to Loft Data 1. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about Barbarian, written and directed by Zach Cregger. This is one of those horror movies that everybody and their mom was hyping up as the craziest horror film that I needed to see. And for me, I think it was solid, but definitely overhyped. I totally see why people were screaming about it, but I think this movie had some missed potential, and it didn't hit me nearly as hard as I would have hoped. To be completely fair, that is largely my fault. When Barbarian came out in 2022, it wasn't even on my radar. Also, I wasn't as locked into movies back then as I am now. So instead of watching it, I just read the plot. By the time I watched this movie last year, I basically knew everything that was going to happen well in advance before it actually happened. And for a movie like Barbarian, where a lot of the magic is going in blind, that really mattered. So the less you know, the better. That said, this review may contain the occasional minor spoiler, but I'll do my best to avoid anything major. Also, before I hop into everything, I want to thank Soraya for requesting this review. I appreciate it. The setup is simple and I enjoy the immediate tension. Tess arrives late at night at an Airbnb in Detroit in the rain, and it turns out it's double booked. There's already a guy there, Keith, and now you've got this super uncomfortable situation where every alarm bell in your body is going off. Any normal person would just book a different place to stay, but not Tess. She has zero survival skills and decides that the neighborhood is too sketchy and she needs to rest up for a job interview the next day. Now, while I enjoyed that immediate tension, I had to suspend my disbelief to buy into the story. The social pressure, the politeness, and the awkwardness of trying to stay safe while not seeming rude are stupid to me. What started out as a scary premise fizzled out for me over the next 35 minutes. A big part of the issue for me was Keith. Billskargsard does a good job with his acting, but Keith was a super annoying character. I was not rooting for him at any point throughout the film. The concept of this movie was really interesting, but the thing that really irked me was that this story only exists because all of the characters make really stupid decisions. I think that is a sign of poor writing. Anyways, about halfway in the film, we shift perspectives and spend a ton of time with Justin Long's AJ. This is where the movie honestly woke up for me. It's a tonal pivot where I went, okay, yeah, now I'm having fun. The movie becomes darkly funny, nasty, and ironic. I think that's where this movie is at its best, when it's balancing horror with its twisted comedy, where the scariest thing isn't just the monster in the basement, but in some ways the people. It's probably not surprising, but Justin Long is the MVP of this movie. He completely carries the second half. He plays AJ as a guy who's always doing mental gymnastics to protect his ego. You want to like him, but you kind of can't. Again, Bill Skarsgård does a good job. He's charming when he needs to be, but he conveys just enough awkwardness and suspicion. The movie weaponizes his presence. Again, I found his character's writing to be a bit lackluster, and I felt like he added some fake stakes to the film. Georginacampbell is our emotional anchor in this film as Tess. Even in moments where I was frustrated with the movie's pacing, she was a key reason this film worked. She gave a grounded performance and sold her fear without feeling cartoonish. Again, just like Keith, I think the character of Tess had some lackluster writing, often making her dependent on dumb choices. Visually, I like this movie because it felt like there were two settings. You have an upstairs, which is a simple rental house, and then you have a downstairs, which is a nightmare maze of tunnels. It's tight, dark, and you don't know what's in front of you. I like this contrast because it made exploring the basement scary. You felt trapped and like you couldn't escape. Despite knowing what was coming, I still felt tension watching these scenes. Adding to the tension was the score. Composed by Anna Drubich, I think she did a great job for having only 3 weeks to finish the score. The music was eerie and never hinted that a jump scare was coming. Equally as good was the silence in the basement. It helped make the movie feel unpredictable. For a movie that's an hour and 42 minutes, I think it was the perfect runtime. While I wasn't the biggest fan of the first half in the movie, the second half was engaging enough to make up for anything I initially found boring. If this movie had been any longer, then it would have quickly worn out its welcome. Barbarian is a genuinely solid horror film with an interesting premise, strong performances, especially from Justin Long, and some really effective tension once it finds its footing. But for me, the frustrating character decisions, uneven pacing in the first half, and the fact that I knew the twists going into this movie kept it from meeting the expectations everyone had hyped it up to be. I get the hype, I understand why this movie blew up, and I don't think people are wrong for loving it, but for me, it's a case of a good movie that could have been great under different circumstances. That said, Barbarian is well worth watching. I'd highly recommend going in blind, knowing absolutely nothing, because that's where this movie is at its strongest. Thank you for listening to my review of Barbarian. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the video, I'm locking you in a basement. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Again, Soraya, thank you for the request. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.